In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement. A movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation.
Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar. I'm Nagindra and I lead the talent identification project at Educational Initiatives. It is my pleasure to welcome all the qualifying students, their parents, and the UC Berkeley Academic Talent Development Program team to today's webinar on the topic Know Your Talent Nurturing Partners. This webinar is part of a series where we showcase our esteemed partners who will present their programs designed to help students unlock their full potential. Before we dive into today's presentation, I would like to take a moment to congratulate all the students who cleared the Asset Talent Search test. Your hard work and achievement have placed you among a select group of talented individuals. This is a remarkable milestone, and we are thrilled to be part of your journey. Parents, if you have any questions during the session, please type them in the chat box and the Q&A. We will answer them during the Q&A session at the end. I would like to invite Maria, Director, CFM Educational Services and Residential Partner of UC Berkeley ATDP, to speak about the exciting programs that UC Berkeley has to offer. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you so much, Nagendra. It is
Yeah.
lovely to meet you all. Thank you so much for being here for our session. As we discussed, my name is Maria. I am a director at CFM, the exclusive partner of UC Berkeley for our ATDP programming. I am so excited to be here. And a little bit about me. I actually started with CFM back in 2018 as a residential counselor myself. So I went to UC Berkeley and graduated with a degree in psychology before joining the team full-time. And now I am actually the director of residential programming. So I'm so excited to be here today. And with that, I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen and we can get started. Okay. Perfect. So our program today that we are discussing is the Berkeley Academic Talent Development Program. You may have seen some of our social media posts, some of our website materials, but I just am so thrilled to speak on this program. It's something that is very near and dear to my heart. I've seen several iterations of this program and am so grateful for all of the time that I've spent with students, much like yours. So this year's program runs from July 12th through August 9th, 2025. It is one of the longer programs out there on the market today. So this program is 4 weeks. The reason that we chose a 4-week program is because we find that it really gives students the time that they need to get over those, homesick feelings and really involve themselves in the Berkeley community, feel like a student, and create relationships with their fellow peers. So with that, I'll go ahead and get into the program. Again, our name is Berkeley ATDP, stands for Academic Talent Development Program. So we are located in Berkeley, California, on campus at UC Berkeley, the top university in the world, the top public university in the world. And we are surrounded by the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. Some of you may have visited before or at least heard of it. So we have so many great microclimates and cities. We have Silicon Valley, of course, which we take students to visit a couple of times throughout their stay. Students are able to experience the city life, have proximities to San Francisco, one of the major cities in the US. They're able to check out Lake Tahoe and Napa, and it is just such a wonderful place to be and experience. And I am biased because I do live in San Francisco, so I love this area. A little bit about UC Berkeley. I'm sure you all have heard of UC Berkeley. It is the #1 public university and the flagship first campus of the 10-university UC system. So the UC system is amazing, and we will get into that a little bit later about how the ATDP program can assist your students in applications for the UC system, and that applies for all 10 universities within that system. Berkeley is a highly diverse and liberal campus. We are also very environmentally conscious. So that means that students will be exposed to things like composting and recycling, something that isn't very common in other parts of the world. And we actually are very excited to introduce an environmental course for our science track this year. UC Berkeley is known to produce Nobel laureates, including 26 faculty and 35 alumni and counting. Every year, I always have to update this slide because we always get more. We are one of the top 2 most venture capital backed entrepreneur sites. So we have a entrepreneur kind of startup area on campus where so many companies have come out of Berkeley startups. And Berkeley has discovered 16 chemical elements, a great background for students who are interested in the STEM and sciences direction. Moving forward to something a little bit more close to my heart is ATDP. So this program in its current form was established in 2013. That is our global program, but ATDP for commuter students has been around since 1982. So it is a program for academic-minded youth, and students actually take courses through the UC Berkeley Graduate School of Education. So very, very world-renowned professors that your students will get to interact with very intimately day to day. It is famed for being one of the top talent development programs in the US and is recognized as part of the college preparation programs on the UC application portal. So again, going back to boosting your application for those 10 University of California schools. Again, we provide 4 weeks of academic and social learning as well as experiential learning. So I'll go into each of these aspects here. We like to say that at ATDP, you have a month abroad to expand your horizons in so many areas. That looks like learning, experiencing, serving the community, building relationships, and of course, enjoying your time here. So with learning, students will take courses, again, administered through the UC Berkeley Graduate School of Education in one of 4 tracks that they choose when applying to our program. Those 4 tracks are business, one of our very popular courses. If you are interested in business, that does tend to fill up very quickly. Social studies, which students will take classes like law and psychology, one of my favorites. Science, again, I mentioned that environmental course that we will get into a little bit later, and technology, another very, very popular course for a very popular track for our STEM interested students. Students have access at UC Berkeley to historic libraries, such as the one on the left, that is the University Library, the one that you may have seen in movies and TV shows. Students will also be responsible for giving student presentations at the end of the program that they work on throughout the 4 weeks with their peers. Students in our science track will get to do experiments in real UC Berkeley laboratories from real UC Berkeley professors. And of course, students will practice their critical thinking here. On the right here is one of our students, Kevin, from this previous summer working on his project. So getting into our 4 tracks, the social studies track is comprised of our humanities professors at UC Berkeley. Students will take courses in social psychology and American culture and society. So since this is one of our very popular tracks, these courses have been pretty steadfast over the past several iterations of our program. So these are tried and true courses that students have raved about and love. So this is one of our flagship programs. Our professors are very familiar with our students and very familiar with the way that they learn. Again, so the courses here are social psychology and American culture and society. Moving on to our science track, I am so excited to announce that we are pivoting towards a more environmentally conscious perspective, and students will be taking environmental science and climate change if they join our science track. And then, of course, a very, very tried and true fan favorite, our advanced biotechnology. So with the science track, it is not required, but we ask that students have a background in some of the science courses, whether that be physics or basic chemistry, things like that, just so that they can hit the ground rolling. That doesn't hinder their performance at our program. Our professors are very, very familiar with students of all capabilities and levels, so they will just give your student extra attention if they need it. Next, we have our business track. Students love our business track. I would say this is our top performing track at UC Berkeley ATDP. Students will take practice of law. So you will actually see here that students are getting to do mock trial, mock jury in one of our UC Berkeley courtrooms at our School of Law. And business, finance, and economy, where they learn about global GDP, finance, things like that. But yes, students love and get very animated when they are able to participate in that on-campus courtroom mock trial. Moving on to our final track, we have the technology track. This is very, very popular with our STEM inclined students, especially those who have taken coding classes before in any language. So the 2 courses here are Exploring Data Science and Advanced Robotic Engineering. And I am happy to, with all of our tracks and courses, share a course description after the webinar that includes a more detailed breakdown of what each class has to offer and what that looks like. So these are our 2 courses for our technology track. Students will take their laptops to class every day and work on code, work very closely with their professor to implement and execute their learnings and their code here in our sandboxes. Great, so moving on from our tracks here, this is kind of an overview, a very high-level overview of the 4 different tracks that we offer, as well as the courses. So on the right here, you will see the workload, the estimated workload. So every track has 2 classes, of course, 5 days a week. That means that one course will be 3 days a week, one course will be 2 days a week. So each class is 3.5 hours from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday through Friday. And they will have 3.5 hours of class daily. So it just switches off what class they are in at that time. And their assignments here vary between the different classes, but you'll be able to see an overview here, typically around 3 to 4 hours per class. And of course, this varies week after week, day after day, but students have ample time to work on projects with their peers, work on focus time, work on their projects at home, home being in the dorm rooms. Great. So moving on to our next facet that I like to highlight. This is one of my favorites and one that really sets us apart from other programs on the market here is students learn to serve their community through outreach projects. So our students become very, very ingrained with the UC Berkeley community and the Berkeley, California community, the city community, through their 4 weeks here. 4 weeks is a long time. So we ask that our students not only enjoy their time here, but give back during their time here. So we do that through scheduled programming like fundraising, community outreach, environmental research. So you'll see here on the left, our students put up a fundraising table and they work in groups that are pre-assigned to come up with a business proposal, come up with an execution plan, and go out on campus in the community and fundraise. So the students on the left here chose to create an, I believe it was a dessert that was from one of their cultural backgrounds and sell that. And you'll actually see the woman here is one of their professors that they asked to come by and support their fundraising efforts. Students also do environmental research, so they will pick one of 4 or 5 organizations that are shared with them at the beginning of the program, and in groups, they put together a slideshow of their research and present that at our outreach showcase at the end of the program. It gives them a great tangible to take away from the program with them for their college applications, for their interviews, for their internships. It's really wonderful to have a piece of work that you created and you are able to take with you to present elsewhere. And finally, students do things like community outreach. So in previous years, we've had students go out to community partners and volunteer, whether that be at a food bank, a homeless shelter, a senior living facility. Students actually go do hands-on community service and thoroughly enjoy it. This has been on pause since the pandemic. We have found that many community partners are not accepting in-person volunteers for safety reasons, but we hope to bring that aspect back very soon. Great. At the end of the program, students will receive a certificate of participation for the overarching program. This is signed and official with a university seal. So this is from the University of California, Berkeley. They will also receive an a thorough evaluation report from both of their professors that they can take with them. It's again on an official university letterhead. They can take with them for applications down the line, internship applications, interviews. This goes through and gives them a grade on each facet of their academic portion. And they have, you'll see down below, they have several paragraphs that outline their participation, their cooperation, their abilities in that class that they have demonstrated. And then down here, we just have some stipulations. Of course, if your student is absent for more than a quarter of the program, we cannot fairly judge them. Our professors cannot fairly assess their abilities, so they will not receive a certificate of participation or an evaluation report if they miss more than a quarter of the program, which is very, very rare. It usually just happens for medical reasons or if a student needs to go back to their home country mid-program. Wonderful. They also receive individual letters of recommendation from their professors, UC Berkeley professors, on official letterhead, again, signed with their contact information. This is not guaranteed. Of course, we don't offer every student a letter of recommendation, but we encourage students to build connections with their professors and ask for the letter of recommendation towards the end of the program. Professors are more than eager to write a letter of recommendations for students who have excelled and really made themselves known throughout the course. Again, students will make individual requests to their professors. And going back to our serving the community service certificate will be awarded to each student, and it will outline the total number of hours of community service that they provided, and that will be signed by our volunteer coordinator at our partner organization. This past year, it was Berkeley Meals on Wheels, which provides meals for the Berkeley community for older elders who are unable to go out to the market or afford a meal. They provide warm meals to senior citizens in our community. And then, of course, they will receive a certificate of participation in the outreach project. So that is the fundraising, the PowerPoint presentation that they present at the end of the year or at the end of the program. Moving on to ATDP on college applications. I know I've spoken a lot about this, so I just wanted to add in this slide and share how these applications will appear and how you can include ATDP on that application. So moving to the left side of the screen here for the University of California application. So that is UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC Riverside, all of the schools that fall under the University of California system all have the same application. And you will see here on the left, students will scroll down to activities and awards. Then they will go to educational prep program and select ATDP. So we are recognized here across California through the UC application. That is a tremendous, tremendous asset to students in their application progress because we are in a recognized program. So most programs that you may come across on the market don't have that recognition. And that's not to say that they don't hold weight. Of course, any program that you put your student in is marvelous, but we are recognized by the UC application directly. On the common application, it is a little bit different. So looking on the right side of your screen here, you would go to activities, activity type, and then you would select community service volunteer and add in more details about the program. Common App is a little bit harder. We are not included in the same kind of drop down because the Common application is not a system. It is the application process for all of the private schools across the US and additional smaller schools. But yes, ATDP is recognized on college applications and a wonderful, wonderful way to kind of get your student's name out there. Moving forward, excuse me, just taking a sip of water. Students are able to experience a liberal and diverse campus. I am biased in this regard because, as I mentioned, I was a UC Berkeley student. I did graduate from there, and these are some of my favorite spots on and around campus. UC Berkeley is a very unique school in that it is very ingrained with the local community, and that is something that we try to focus on and highlight for students during their time here is how we are more than just a campus dropped in a city. We are a campus that is ingrained in our city. So you will see things here like boba shops, restaurants, music shops. Our Bare Basics is our campus swag store where you can get mugs and t-shirts with the Berkeley campus. And then on the right here, I apologize, it's a little bit cut off, is Top Dog, one of the longest standing and favorites of students. So I had to include that there. It is a hot dog restaurant. So with this, students have plenty of free time during their between classes and when they are not working on presentations, where they are able to go out with a buddy and experience some of these community staples. So they will feel like they are truly independent and living in Berkeley. So we have guided tours throughout Berkeley for their first few days, and then students will find kind of their favorite spots. One of students' favorites last year was a very specific boba shop that I had never even seen before. And they were like magnets. Great. So a little bit more about the UC Berkeley campus living experience. So students will live in the standard UC Berkeley dormitory. We find that living in the dorms really gives students a taste for what it's like to be a UC Berkeley student and what they can come to expect, not just at UC Berkeley, but at any university across the US that they may apply for and get into. So they will live with a roommate that will be either a double or triple occupancy room. The rooms are spacious. Every student will have a bed. Every student will have a dedicated desk and closet space. Shared floor bathrooms, so very common in the US and especially amongst first-year dormitories, is a shared floor bathroom. So students will have common showers, common restroom stalls, common sinks, and there are lockers in there for students to keep their private necessities. Shared building kitchen appliances. So students in their room will have a mini refrigerator and microwave, but if they want to cook something, or they want to heat up a meal, otherwise, there are kitchen appliances in the main common space. And then, of course, there's Wi-Fi available to them throughout campus and dorms. At UC Berkeley ATDP, we have a very, very strict safety first policy. We understand that these students are away from home in a new country that they may have never visited before. And so we really pride ourselves on the attention to detail and safety that we place with all students. So there is 24/7 guardianship from arrival to departure for your students. That is the moment they step out of the airport gates to the moment that they cross through airport security on their way home. That guardianship looks like a team of staff. We have myself, my business partner, so we have dedicated adults who also live on site in these dorms for those 4 weeks, as well as a team of counselors. So you will hear more about that a little bit later, but we do have a team of counselors who are current UC Berkeley students, very familiar with the resources, very familiar with the way of life in Berkeley, that are responsible for making sure your child is safe, making sure your child is happy and taken care of. We also offer frequent communication with parents. So you all will receive my phone number, my WhatsApp, to communicate with me, who will be on site at any point during that program. Students will also have their cellular devices, so there is no lapse in communication there, except for, of course, we ask that they put their devices away when they are in class. And then finally, we love that we are a family-like environment, fostering friendship building throughout their 4 weeks here. One of my favorite and least favorite parts of the program are when students start to go home after our closing ceremony. It is just tears all afternoon and into the evening. Finally, dining. Students will get a chance to eat at our cafeterias, our dining halls. So they will experience daily breakfast and weekday dinners at our dining halls. Students receive 3 meals a day every single day, but what they receive for that meal is a little bit different day to day. So I'm happy to dive into that. We really pride ourselves on giving students the option to experience local cuisine, something a little different day to day, so they aren't just eating in the dining hall daily. The dining hall is amazing, but after 4 weeks, of course, it can get a little tiring and repetitive. So we offer daily breakfast and weekday dinners at the campus dining hall. And on weekday lunches, so Monday through Friday, we cater different local restaurants to campus for our students to enjoy. And then weekend lunches and dinners are off campus at one of the community restaurants. This looks different week to week because we may be on a field trip that day, or we may be, across town experiencing a museum, for example. So what they receive is different day to day, but it is all very filling, all mostly healthy items, depending on what the student selects, and gives students a really great taste of what it's like to eat as a college student at UC Berkeley. Great, and I just want to make sure I am on track. Am I doing okay, Nagrenda? I just want to make sure I'm on track time-wise here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
Mm.
Alrighty. Students will be able to build a foundation for their college career. We've talked about this a little bit, but I really want to highlight some important aspects that students receive in our program here. So, of course, friendship and connection are the biggest takeaways socially that students gain here. So they become friends with fellow students from across the globe, different countries, different pockets of the world that they may not have been familiar with. So we really pride ourselves on our diversity and ability to bridge together cultures. So they also gain a connection with our diverse set of staff and faculty. So they are able to, again, get those letters of recommendation, really interact intimately with UC Berkeley professors, get to know their counselor. This is actually a group of students who asked to take a selfie with one of our counselors, Zora. And they really gain a family-like connection during their 4 weeks here, which is why we think that the 4-week model is superior. They gain a lot of knowledge that goes without saying. We are an academically rigorous program. So as much fun as we are having, we do put academics first. So students will have plenty of time to work on projects, work cross-functionally with other students, focus on their individual projects and do some focus time, as well as participate in office hours for one-on-one instruction with their professor. And then, as we discussed, students have a lot of opportunity for recognition. So there are a lot of awards that students can become eligible for. And with that, we have a closing ceremony at the end of the program that we do invite parents to. If you are able to make the trip, most parents cannot, we understand, but we do offer that for our parents and students to participate in our closing ceremony. So this is where students will get all of those amazing certificates of participation, class awards given out by their professor. So this looks like academic achievement awards that we didn't discuss before. They're more individualized to each course. And then again, students will get to experience the community. One of the best parts about ATDP is that we pack our schedule morning to night, Saturday to Sunday, or Saturday to the following Sunday, with so many extracurricular activities. So we understand that students are visiting from different parts of the world, may have never been to California or the Bay Area. So we like to give them a taste of everything that the Bay has to offer. So that looks like participating in our prom. This is kind of our celebration at the end of the program for our students to recognize their hard work and celebrate socially with each other. We take them to amusement parks. These are two of our counselors enjoying their time on a roller coaster at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. We take them river rafting at one of the iconic rivers in the Sacramento Valley area. This is a favorite for students. They really get to soak in the California sun and enjoy their summer. And then we take them on exciting tech visits. So that looks like going to the Computer History Museum, going to the Intel Museum, getting hands-on tour guides to walk them through the exhibits, and being able to take a private tour of these spaces. So here are some photos that I like to highlight. So we have students enjoying the Berkeley cuisine, birthday celebrations, going on hikes, roller coasters, our talent show, jumping in the river, really just enjoying their time here. So here are just some more activities that students are able to participate in. We go on some hikes to experience the view. These 3 students here on the left are hugging and embracing after week 2, and they actually didn't know each other before the program. So I love to see the bonds that are created during their time. And then, of course, we visit Stanford and the Silicon Valley. We take the opportunity to take students on a day trip and tour of Stanford University, our rival here in the Bay Area. But we, of course, give students the opportunity to visit that campus. And I know I went over a lot of detail, but I just wanted to give a snapshot of what our master schedule looks like. This is, of course, not set in stone, so some things are a little bit more vague here. But in general, this is our tried and true schedule, Monday through Friday, including weekend activities. So you will see here, just as a brief overview, Monday through Friday, students are in class from 8:30 to 12 daily. Again, those classes will cycle, so they will be in one class 3 times a week, another class twice a week. In the afternoon, they will participate in an outreach project for most days, have some free/study time. That's when they can actually go visit the UC Berkeley like restaurants and shops if they'd like. And then on Friday afternoons, we take them on a local excursion. So that might look like a tech visit, a trip to the botanical gardens, things like that. And then in the evening, most days they are working on homework, have a little bit of free time to socialize, working on group projects, and of course, having dinner. Thursday evenings, we do workshops that are put on by our current UC Berkeley counselors. So we have a college application workshop. Last year, we had a letter of recommendation request workshop. We had a lot of different options here, and we really base those on an ad hoc basis based on what the students want. So last year, students really wanted to hear about how to ask for a letter of recommendation from their professor. So that is something that we implemented. We celebrate with movie nights, fun, optional activities in the dorms in the evenings. And then our weekends are students' favorites. Of course, the first weekend we are arriving, moving in, doing all of that, getting to know each other. And we focus the next day on orientation, a campus tour so that students know where their classes are, team building and getting to know your peers. And then weeks 2, 3, and 4 are where we really take students further out into the community to experience more activities. So they might go to a concert or a symphony or a play. We go whitewater rafting, go visit Stanford. I know students like to shop, so we take them on a short shopping excursion. We take them on a city tour of San Francisco. They go to the California beach. So all of these are experiences that your students will get to participate in, and that is included with their program fees. Great. And again, this will be shared after the fact, so feel free to take a screenshot now, but you will have access to this afterwards. Great. Moving on. Here are some highlights that we discussed already, but just want to go back and focus on. UC Berkeley is a prestigious and diverse public university that we really pride ourselves on our diversity, the ability for students to participate in a rigorous academic program, participate in independent research, really discover several different academic interests by offering those 4 different tracks and class options. And this, of course, gives them a resume booster. This allows them to put ATDP on their applications and be recognized by university admissions officers for participating in such a rigorous, renowned program. Going on to our living in safety, students live in their college dormitories. They really get to experience the dorm life. All of our dorms are key fob locked, so there is security. Students will be very safe during their time here. There are several, you need a fob to get into the front door, into the elevator, and then into their rooms. So there is a lot of supervision here. Students do not go out after dark by themselves. we make sure that students are very safe during their time here. And we hire a talented and diverse applicant pool of current UC Berkeley students as our counselors. They serve as our tutors, mentors, tour guides, fun officers, really are parents for students while they are away from home. And we hire these counselors at a 10-to-1 student to counselor ratio, which is something very unique about our program. We find that it is best to put resources into making sure that students have a very intimate point of contact. It really makes students feel safe and comfortable, and that is something that we really value here is students' comfortability, because if they are not comfortable, if they are not feeling safe, they are not going to enjoy their time here. They are not going to do their best in their classes. So we hire current college students, current UC Berkeley students at a very low 10-to-1 ratio so that students always have that point of contact that they can reach day and night. And these counselors, as well as myself, are living in the dorms alongside the students, of course, in separate rooms, but our counselors are typically 1 to 2 doors away from students in the same hallway and can be reached 24/7. So again, safety first policy is something that we really pride ourselves on, and we make ourselves available 24/7 to students as well as parents if they have any questions or any needs while your student is in our care. And then finally, our service learning and career exploration really sets us apart from the rest here. We focus a lot on giving back to the community that they're in, and students participate in outreach projects and community service. And this not only gives back to the community altruistically, but it also serves as a resume booster. So like we mentioned, students can take away that research project with them. They can take away that community service certificate with them and add that to their applications for college. And then we explore various different careers here by taking students on tech visits, showing off the Silicon Valley entrepreneurship models, professional culture here. And then moving on here, some more highlights. College prep and professional development. We have seminars, workshop, college advice, and students can access their counselors 24/7. So they can ask one-on-one questions about resume building, how to prepare for college interviews, things like that. Our counselors are great resources for our students outside of the predetermined sessions that we have. So if a student wants additional one-on-one FaceTime, maybe they want help building their resume, our counselors can sit down with them and assist them with that. And then, of course, the things that we talked about, cultural immersion at UC Berkeley and on our weekend activities, experience the student life. So there are actual college UC Berkeley students taking classes throughout the summer that students will get to experience as they walk to class and as they're in the dining halls. So they'll be able to really feel like they are a true UC Berkeley student during their time here. They also receive an ID card that has their photo, so they will feel very legitimately like a Berkeley student. Great. And then for our parents, I know you all will miss your students very much while they are away. So we send out weekly newsletters curated by our interns and our counselors, and they are just fun ways to photograph students. We do interviews with students. We include quotes and stories on what students are doing during their time here. So you all will receive a weekly newsletter highlighting the activities that they went on during the week. Maybe your student doesn't directly share. I was one of them when I was younger. How was your day today? Oh, it was okay. It was good. No further details. So you will truly get all of the details in our curated weekly newsletters. And here are just some examples of what a few previous newsletters have looked like and how truly in detail they are. And our counselors and interns have so much fun decorating them and creating them. Great. And moving on to the sad closing of our program that no one wants to get to at the end of the 4 weeks because they're having so much fun. We have an award ceremony where we, give out all of those awards and certificates that we mentioned. This is where our students build out a big check and donate the money from their fundraising to the community partner. We invite their professors, we invite parents, we invite all of their supportive community to attend this closing ceremony. So here you'll see one of our students in the big photo here receiving an academic award that was individually curated by their professor. You'll see in the middle here are 2 students that created this check to give to Berkeley Meals on Wheels, who we partnered with last year. Really a great ceremony with a luncheon style catering, things like that. And then now I will be happy to get into how do I apply? What does that look like? What is the timeline? So let me go ahead and get into that now. Give me 1 second to take a sip of water. So we are really looking for academically minded students with good English proficiency. So when I say academically minded, students will have a lot of fun during this program, but they are not on a vacation, of course. They are here to take courses at UC Berkeley. So we really want students that will take advantage of all of the amazing resources that are offered with this program. So we want students who are academically talented and have the work ethic. And again, English is our primary language here because we welcome so many students with such diverse backgrounds and different languages. We really focus on English proficiency, which is required to apply, required as part of their curriculum here. All courses are taught in English. Everything is spoken in English here. And that really allows students to not feel othered. So we find that if a pocket of students is speaking in their native language, students from a different cultural background are not going to feel welcome in that conversation. So we find the common ground with English. We are looking for independent students who maybe don't have full independence yet, but are excited to become independent and really live like a American college student. We want students who are looking to apply maybe in the next year or in the next 5 years to elite US universities. We want students who want to be here. And then, of course, we have a kind of age range that we look for. So typically our students are grades 8 through 11. I know a lot of asset students are a little bit younger in grade 6 or 7. We have had plenty of students in grade 6 or 7, and that is perfectly fine. We just ask that they be academically eligible and again, have that English proficiency. With those younger students, we have our counselors pay extra attention to them and make sure that they are kind of on par with the things that they may not know yet. For example, the independent living, the living with a roommate, things like that. And we make sure that our counselors pay extra individualized attention to our younger students. And when we pair them in roommate situations, they will be paired with students of the same gender and typically the same age, or 1 or 2 year difference here. So we pay extra attention to our younger students as well. Great. So how do you apply? So first, students will prepare their application materials. We require an English resume that includes any honors, awards, extracurricular activities that they've participated in. We ask that they do provide an English written essay. 500 to 800 words is sufficient on one of the following topics. So these topics change year after year, and we curate them to kind of what's going on. So as we mentioned, we are welcoming our environmental course for our science track. So we have one of those questions in here. We also ask that students provide a current English transcript for the past 2 years of courses. So that's just, it doesn't have to be an official transcript, just a screenshot or something that provides kind of their grades from the past 2 years. They are also asked to fill out a teacher recommendation form. We want teachers to be able to vouch for them and share why they should be part of the program. And we ask for a copy of the passport. Just a scan of the passport is totally fine. And then if your students have them, TOEFL scores are preferred but not required and will not set you back in your application if you do not have them. Students are asked to then, once they have their application materials, complete our online application. The link is here. It is very straightforward. It's mostly informational, so it includes things like name, emergency contacts, things like that, preferred track, and that has an administrative fee of $100, non-refundable, that goes towards the interviewers, the admin staff that are required to process that application. Once your application is received, students can schedule a quick 20 to 30 minute interview. During this interview, our interviewer, a previous UC Berkeley counselor, will get into things like a little bit more about the extracurricular activities that your student has participated in, what their favorite courses are. They will be asked to type in English a short paragraph, answer some reading questions, things like that. So again, a short 20 to 30 minute interview, and that also allows students to ask questions about the program that they might have. So things like asking questions about particular tracks or anything that might come to mind. Our admissions will be released in stages. You will see that one has already passed. So January 31st, we welcomed our first pool of admissions. Next is February 28th and March 31st, or until all of our spots are filled. So what that looks like is students will receive, so if your student applies this month in February, they will receive a response no later than February 28th. That is dependent on students submitting all application materials as well as having their interview by February 28th. So admissions are released monthly, but you may hear back sooner. Typically, our turnaround time is about 1 to 2 weeks. So if you apply in early February, you might hear back in mid-February. One thing that I am excited to share for our asset team here is that we are offering 5 merit-based scholarships for our asset applicants. And that is just $750 deducted from the program fee, which I will get into soon, so long as the program fee is paid by March 31st. And again, those are merit-based, so we will release the winners of that scholarship at the end of our admission stage, March 31st. And I can go into that a little bit later in our Q&A session. So what our payment structure looks like. Our payment structure is twofold. So if students cancel prior to May 15th, they will receive a 100% refund, or if they cancel due to visa denial, they will receive a 100% refund anytime. We find that with the ongoing political climate and things, students might have trouble getting their visas. So we ask that you apply as soon as possible, work on that visa interview as soon as possible. Students who do receive admission into our program will get a visa assistance letter on official letterhead from the university. So you'll be able to use that as additional help during your visa interview. Our payment is our program fee is $9,350 for our 3 tracks: business, social studies, and science. The technology track does require an additional $300, so that puts us at $9,650 USD for our technology track. This is due to the additional fees required for our program administration, so for our professors in that field. So what does this payment include? It includes almost everything. So this is tuition, room and board, and their linens, their food for the entire 3 weeks, insurance, travel insurance, their service learning opportunities, paying our counselors and tutors, our interns, all of the weekend activities and weekday activities that I mentioned, all transportation while they are here. So that looks like shuttles from the airport, shuttles to our activities, things like that, and of course, administrative fees. The only things it does not include are airfare, textbooks and materials, and personal expenses. So essentially, while your students are here on campus in our care, they do not need to pay a dime, but students may want to bring additional spending money for things like personal necessities, soaps that they may not have brought, spending money if they want to go get a dessert, things like that. Moving on here. Here we just have a few links here. So some of our social media sites where you'll be able to get an inside look of what our students have been doing over the past few years, as well as testimonials. And I believe that is actually my last slide here. This is a picture of our last cohort enjoying their time at Treasure Island with a view of San Francisco. But with that, I am happy to pass it over to Nagendra. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Maya. This is such a wonderful presentation. And I believe we have few questions as well. So let us go through the questions quickly one by one. So the first question is, will your faculty be reaching out to us? So it is a question asked by Arna Konodia. So will your faculty be reaching out to us? I don't know in which context they have asked, but can you answer this point if you have any idea?
Yeah, will our faculty be reaching out? Typically, the professors, I assume they're referring to the professors. The professors typically only contact with the students, but if there is a question that is raised, we can absolutely share their email addresses, things like that. Of course, we are in 2 different time zones here. It's evening for you all, it's morning for us. So please allow them about 24 hours to get back to you, but you will have contact with me, the students, the professors, all of that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And the second question is from Chinmay Suraj. Really appreciate the presentation. It is such a delight to be attending the session. Thank you, Maria. It is an appreciation coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then we have one question from an anonymous attendee. We are moving to the US, California in April, and my son will start high school in August. So we are wondering if it is beneficial to attend the course this summer or the next, because before he begins his sophomore year. Thank you.
Definitely. Good question. So I would say that both years are fantastic. It's up to you which year your student attends. From a personal standpoint, if you are moving in April, participating in the program this summer might be more beneficial because your student really gets a taste of what the Bay Area looks like and kind of a jump start onto what that college prep looks like. So I would say this summer, but you can always do next summer if the timelines don't align or other personal reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. And now one more question from Jay Kocher. It is, I don't think this talk covers the program for grade 6. Isn't there an elementary division program?
Can you repeat that question?
So I don't think this talk covers the program for grade 6. Is not there an elementary division program
Great.
for grade
So
6?
yes, our grade 6 students will participate in one of the 4 tracks, exactly the same as our other grades. So these students are not broken down by grade. We believe that all of our applicants here are very thoroughly reviewed, and the admissions pool that we select are all of a similar ability level. So again, students will receive individualized attention based on their needs and abilities, but our grade 6 students take the same courses as our grade 8 students. We just believe that we ask that if you are applying with a grade 6 student, that your student kind of be ready to take on that additional challenge of maybe taking courses that they've never done before or being ready to explore. And I feel that this is a very safe space to do that. They are not graded like they are in school, so there's no negative association if they need a little bit more help from their professors.
Okay. And now one more question from Krishna Chaitanya. What's the merit scholarship based on?
Great. So merit scholarship is based on all of the application materials that we receive. So we look at extracurriculars, we look at performance during their interview, we look at things like their transcripts and their essay that they submit. So that is based on how they do in our application process. So we will take the top 5 performing students during our application process and interview process and award those merit scholarships to them.
Okay. And now the last question. Also, which visa is applicable, tourist or any other?
Great question. So because students are here for this academic rigorous program, but do not receive academic credit for it, we only require the tourist visa. So students are able to apply with a tourist visa because they are not receiving any units for this program.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you for answering all these questions, Maria. You for addressing all these questions so patiently and providing such clear and helpful responses. And
Great.
parents,
Thank you
if you,
all so much.
yeah, yeah. And parents, if you have any further questions, I would like to connect with someone from UC Berkeley. Please contact them as per the details mentioned. And then, thank you, Maria, for giving such a wonderful presentation and answering all these questions. And we hope this session has been insightful and has given you a better understanding of the opportunities available for your child. We deeply appreciate the time and effort you have taken to share your expertise and experiences with us today. The dedication that UC Berkeley program brings to nurturing gifted students is truly commendable. And I am sure that parents and students attending today have found this session extremely valuable. Once again, thank you, Maria, uh, for joining us and for being such an important part of the journey with our students. Thank you for all joining us today. Have a great evening and great morning for you, Maria.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Thank
joining
you
us
all
and
for your
hope you
time.